Cleveland Browns select Shedeur Sanders in the fifth round of the draft. We're going to get into it next. What it do, folks? I'm the Beat Chef with Watch the Damn Tape. Hit that like, that share, that subscribe button. Hit that bell to get notified when I drop my next video. New subscribers, I thank you for joining. I hope you enjoy the show. Appreciate you so much. Old subscribers, thank you for rocking with your boy, building this platform, and keeping me to pushing out this content. Shedeur Sanders goes in the fifth round, the 144th pick, to the Cleveland Browns. When the pick was announced, I think you could hear a pin drop on TV. They were so excited because they finally get to show all these damn promos and talk about the traits and the good and the bad of Shedeur. They were happy. Hell, I was happy. It was the purge was over. The message has been sent. We all understand it now. Shedeur is the first NIL guy. He's the first big money guy. I'm not sure if a lot of you knew that. Shedeur is probably the first athlete to get a Gatorade deal who was a collegiate player. I think Paige Beckers might have been the second one. But he is the conception of NIL and where it's going to go if you don't get a hold on it. And the NFL, they like stuff to bubble up. They like, the bubble screens and some of the nuances within the game to bubble up. They don't like to lose control. And right now, college players, for the most part, have all the control. You see what happened to the University of Tennessee. With that being said, the NFL said, no, hell no. We will deny you. And when I finish this video, you'll see how I lay it all out and how it worked for the league and it worked for Cleveland. But they don't want that quarterback to come into an organization and have that much control over an organization from the jump street. Not without putting in any work. Here's Andrew Berry, the general manager of the Cleveland Browns, and he's talking about drafting Shedeur.
Shedeur, we talk oftentimes about quarterback being the most important position in the sport. We obviously spent a lot of time with Shedeur throughout the process. He's highly accurate, can play well from the pocket, very productive college career, and we felt like it wasn't necessarily the plan going into the weekend to select two quarterbacks, but as we talk about, we do believe in best player available. We do believe in positional value, and we didn't necessarily expect him to be available in the fifth round, and so we love adding competition to every position room and adding him to compete with the guys that are already in there. We felt like that was the appropriate.
Now, if you notice what he said, coming in and working, and he said he sounded like he was ready to work and he was humble. That's what they want. That's what they want. Everybody's been. We're all. I'm Gen X. We all been on interviews. You have to sell yourself. If you're not going to go on an interview and you're going to tell the person that's the prospective employer, man, go look at my resume, I ain't got to talk. That's going to not fare well in your favor. It's not going to bode well in your favor. And that's basically what Shedeur did. Only met with 5 teams. Didn't do any throws at the combine. Didn't work out at the combine. Didn't work out at the East-West Shrine game. You didn't give them anything. You let them rest on your tape. Bad move. Dion, I blame Dion for that. That was a bad move. But you get drafted to Cleveland. There's 5 quarterbacks on this roster right now. You got Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, DeShaun Watson, Gabriel, who just got drafted, and Shedeur. DeShaun Watson's injured. He probably won't even make the team. They'll probably cut him. But that's a hefty. If it's a post-June cut, that'll count $81 million towards their cap. They'll save $46 million, but it'll count 81 towards their cap. Keep that in mind. Kenny Pickett didn't really do it in Pittsburgh, and he came in for Jalen Hurts last year, played decent enough to keep them afloat, but he's not a starter. He's a backup, and he'll be a career backup. So really, to be honest, and he'll probably get cut or traded to a team that needs a backup. To be honest, Gabriel and Shedeur will have cheap contracts, which bodes well for both of them. Bodes well for both of them, especially if they can get rid of DeShaun Watson. Even if they keep DeShaun Watson and Joe Flacco doesn't make the team, if Shedeur can show enough, whichever one, Shedeur or Gabriel, either one of them can take this starting job. And this what the battle really is. It's really Gabriel Dillon and versus Shedeur Sanders. Who can show as much? Backups really don't get a lot of playing time. They don't get a lot of practice time. But training camp is where they're going to have to actually show something. I doubt very seriously that they cut Shedeur, because I know the league sent them a message, but a lot of these teams would love to have Shedeur, especially a team that's got an established veteran. And say like the Raiders, perhaps. You got Geno. You got Geno Smith on a short deal. You bring in Shedeur, but this spot for Shedeur it's not the most ideal spot. The most ideal spot to me would have been the Rams, the LA Rams. The LA Rams, the LA Rams. The LA Rams or the Steelers. The Rams, the Steelers. Those to me were the top two spots. Cleveland is a bad fit. It's just a bad organization that gets top tier talent and screws it up. Even going into this draft, their needs were pretty much quarterback, offensive line help. They drafted 2 running backs, 2 quarterbacks, and a defensive lineman in their first few picks. So Shedeur's used to running for his life behind a bad O-line. Gonna be doing some running in this one too. The second thing about this, the NIL money coming in, you can tell the league is wanting to send a message to the younger players that are coming up. People are talking about the slide. I'm going to show you the rankings for this year's crop of quarterbacks. Here it goes. Now, as you can see, pretty much everybody was around like a 6 point something. There wasn't much difference between the quarterbacks. It's just, which flavor did you like? Did you like Jackson Dart? Did you like Cam Ward? Did you like Shedeur? Did you like Dillon Gabriel? Did you like Tyler Shutts? Did you like Quinn Ewers? And as I'm making this video, Quinn Ewers still hasn't got picked. Another reason why you need to listen to the league when they talk about you and evaluate you. He got bad advice. He would have made more staying in school another year, going to another school, and be a coveted transfer portal player in his senior year. You live and you learn. The league did a masterful job to the detriment of Shedeur by using Shedeur's popularity and his need for social media presence and being here and doing all the video behind the scenes of the draft, leading up to the draft and doing the draft party. Everything was filmed like a reality show. The league took his momentum and turned it into their reality show. You got to keep in mind, folks, if you wrote down on a piece of paper the marquee names in this draft, you probably would have only wrote down Shedeur and Travis Hunter. Everybody knew Travis Hunter was going to go high. Dillon, the ultimate salesman, had been basically pitching all season that these guys were the best two players in college. They should go 1 and 2. I mean, the way it really worked out, Travis Hunter could have went to Cleveland, and Cleveland could have still picked Shedeur later, and they would have been teammates. But the Browns decided to fleece Jacksonville. And this is just a hunch. I believe, Dillon was on record saying that he didn't want, there were certain teams he didn't want his guys going to. He didn't want Travis and Shedeur going to. I believe Cleveland was one of those teams. And let me show you this tweet that Dillon said back in 2018. Now, that's funny. You said that about them in 2018, and yet now your son's on the same team. Now, they have no leverage. He can sit out if he wants. He don't have to sign with him. I doubt very seriously you're going to force a trade as a 5th-round pick, but we'll see. From what Mr. Berry said, he was all in, and even out of Shedeur's mouth, he was very appreciative and thankful for getting the chance. Sounds like a totally different person.
Tell him what does Shedeur Sanders need? What do you hope to get out of the NFL to help you reach your maximum potential as fast as possible?
All I need is opportunity. Simple. Whatever franchise want to change their franchise, then there's no doubt who to go with. I've done it over and over and over, so you'll be a fool not to pick me.
And Lewis mentioned again how it's them interviewing you and you interviewing them. But as far when they're interviewing you, if you're making the pitch as to why Shedeur Sanders should be the next quarterback of inserts team here, what are some of the strengths of your game that you feel like you highlight when you're talking to these teams?
Let me ask you a question. What's the most important trait of a quarterback?
I'd say decision making and accuracy, winning,
consistency.
That works too.
Look at the last 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I know I'm the best quarterback in the draft.
The consistency of your decision-making and accuracy.
So
it makes sense.
It checks all boxes.
Yeah, I got
At
you.
least the one guy. But, I'm a Sanders. They can't put me through. Hey, thank you, everybody. Came support. Thank you, everybody out there. All the fans. Hey, it's not time for us up, bro. No, not announced. Thank you for the fans. Thank you for everybody. Thank you for Browns organization for giving me a chance. That's all I need. W God in the chat. It's perfect timing. It's a beautiful thing. Our belief in God. That's all we care about. We know these decisions. Things happen. Yeah. Sometimes it's adversity. We got to change it, though. We got to do different.
We got to do different. We can't control the uncontrollable.
You can't control that. So you just got to remain positive, stay happy at all times, and know God got you. I knew the whole time God had me. So I wasn't really panicking because I understood it's about perfect timing. So in that case.
Then from 3 days ago. Totally different person. Total different. What they did to him worked. Excuse me. You want to know in this game, you want to know if you got a football player or a person that is trying to be a celebrity. Like Bill Parcells said, he didn't want a celebrity quarterback. Those rules pretty much are universal throughout the league. The CEO of a football team is the quarterback. You don't want your quarterback with an entourage of cameras with his older brother running a reality show in a NFL locker room with grown men who have families, lives, and personal stuff. And you got the young quarterback that hasn't proven anything, who's well paid, coming in with that circus. See, now Cleveland has stripped Shedeur of his superstar status. You just a regular guy now. You a 5th round pick. You're not the marquee 1st round pick with all the bravado and and that's the reason why they did it the way they did it. And to be honest, if you watch the War Room, take a look.
Is it reality in regards to Shedeur and Deion? Deion's not going to interfere. Deion's not going to be calling the coach. Deion's not going to be commenting about Shedeur while he's in Colorado. Lou, I think there's a lot of just fake news out there surrounding the Sanders family.
If you look at the War Room when they picked him, to the guy on the left is Kevin Stefanski. He's the head coach. Barry's on the right. They don't look real excited about the pick. Even in the post interview, they didn't look excited about the pick. It was like somebody told them draft him. Maybe like the owner. You know, last night Daniel Jeremiah, he kind of hinted. He was talking to the camera and he was talking to Shedeur. And he said, if I'm Shedeur, I get on the phone and I start calling some of these general managers and these owners, and I start telling them about who I really am and what I'm going to do. Notice how today it was a different attitude. It was a sense of relief. Thank God I got drafted. It was humble. That's all they wanted from the beginning. Life lesson learned. The other aspect of this whole thing is with there not being too many marquee people, and Shedeur being a storyline in this draft where he's going to go. The NFL managed to stretch Shedeur's story out for 3 days, and that's why I said they took the power from him and used it against him. They stretched out basically a draft that was heavy in talent, but not marquee talent. You normally drafts are a little bit sexy at the top, especially with a bunch of quarterbacks. Not this year. Suspect quarterbacks, so average, decent quarterbacks. We'll see how many of them pan out. Like I say, you give a draft 3 years and then you grade it. You really see how it turned out. Some of these guys won't even be on rosters. Some of these guys will be on other teams in year 3 or 4. Next year is another crop of better players every year. That's why the NFL is so cutthroat and the number one sport next to freaking soccer in the world. But in America, this football is king. But the NFL did a great job of keeping that storyline. When he didn't get drafted in the 1st round, when he was sliding, you waited. You waited to see where he was going to go. I know I did for sure. Day 2. Okay, he might be a 2nd round pick. Maybe at the bottom of the 2nd round. Certainly he's not going to go past Pittsburgh in the 3rd round. They need a quarterback. Doesn't go. You tune in on a Saturday. And then on Saturday they said, okay, turn it off. Turn the dogs off. Call back the strike force. We're through bombing the Sanders compound, and they let them make it. They let them get drafted, and probably by a team that Cleveland probably would have drafted him anyway, had he not been so arrogant. They probably was the ones that he had the dust up with at the combine, and we already know that was probably one of the teams that Deion did not want him to go to. Now, things to look forward to in the next couple of days, because they're going to be a lot of questions, and a lot of questions with your dad. See how much talking they do after the fact. What teams did you not want them to go to? Who were those teams? I'd love to know. What do you think about your status? Can you be a backup? Can you be a backup? If you make the team and you're not the starter, can you be a backup and be content? Just saying. I'd love to know your thoughts. Leave your thoughts, your comments below. I'm going to show you some tweets from people because people are happy. I'm going to show you some tweets from a couple fans about their thoughts on Shedeur and Cleveland in general. And then I'll leave you with a tweet from Darren Ravel, which I thought was very telling. That'll be the last tweet you see. Until next time, folks. Peace.